Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird91. Yes, I am back. I know Own TV decided to take a break, Ready to Love, but I don't take breaks, baby. Okay, we are here again once more, chopping it up with one of the favorites on Ready to Love. I know you recognize this handsome man right here. He's also on the show. You know, he's handling some Sahara deserts out here. So you know, the brother he's well and capable. You know what I mean? So, welcome to the show, Cam. How you doing today, Captain?
I'm doing good, bro. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you for having me, man.
No worries at all, bro. Listen, it's a blessing to have you on here, man. Look, you know, this is you know, a crazy time because you guys are probably the newest RTL situation. We've never had a situation where RTL has gone on a break, so we are doing
Correct.
things a little bit different. We're interviewing you halfway through the season, so I know that you have to keep some things to yourself, which I'll respect. But we want to get to know you a bit better on this interview, and also get to know about your process and how it's been so far. So we will keep some exciting conversation to the end where we get to ask you more about RTL. But before we get to there,
So
I do need to do some icebreakers. We need to make sure that you're a human being. You know, these days AI looking real good. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure, brother. Yeah,
right,
me.
right, right.
So
No, it's me. It's
you
me.
know, VO3 looking serious. So we got to tap in
Uh,
a little bit. You know what I mean?
hey, let's do it. Let's do it.
Uh okay. I got a couple questions. First
Mhm.
question, straight fire here. Straight
Let's
fire
go.
here.
I'm ready.
Android, iPhone.
iPhone all day. I can't do green bubbles. I'm sorry.
Damn, you done said
Can't
that
do it.
Android yet. We ain't getting
Yeah, I
no Android
can't.
sponsorship after this.
I
Oh,
know, but Apple hit me up though.
hey, hit me up too. I'm using Apple right now. Second question.
Yep.
Second question. Favorite color?
Green. Always.
Ooh, okay.
Always. Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that in
yeah.
clothing or is that just in color in general?
In general, like I'm a big like free guys. I like to hike in nature, so green, money, all that. Like green is definitely like my favorite color and everything.
All right. Green, green around me. I hear that. I hear that. Question number three.
Yep.
Chicken or beef?
Ooh. I'm gonna choose chicken. I thought you could do more with chicken.
All right. All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. Do you eat Chinese?
I do. But I only order one thing from a Chinese store. Like only
What'd
one
you
thing
order?
ever. General's toast chicken with white rice and broccoli. It's the
Sir,
only
say
thing I
that again.
order
What
ever.
was that?
We always call it toes in Philly, but it's like sows. I guess that's the how you say it, sow.
Okay.
General
Okay.
style chicken with white rice.
Okay. All right.
Only thing I order. I don't experiment at all.
He said a straight far from the base. Okay, cool. I can rock with that.
Exactly.
I can rock with that. All right, last question. Cereal or
Mm,
the milk in the bowl first?
I'm not insane. It's cereal in the bowl and then pour the milk. I don't know who these people that pour milk first, but y'all need to get checked out because that's insane.
Now you, now you. That's how I know you a little bit suspect. You don't put the milk in first,
That's suspect. You put the milk in first?
brother. You need to level the bowl first, and
Oh
then let
my
the
God.
cereal float.
See, man.
You even lucky some of your people out here be putting ice and stuff. That's not me, but some of your people be putting ice and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. My mom used to do that. I ain't gonna lie. But
Oh, see, and
like
you
put
out here
ice in the
questioning
milk to
my
make.
thing.
Oh, I put ice in there before I put the milk. See, that must be an overseas thing. I don't know what y'all do over there, but that's insane. Y'all got that.
I'm only kidding. I don't put the milk in first. But yeah, listen, I love that. You've passed our verification test. You are definitely a human being, and we appreciate that as well. So much love, much appreciate for that. Okay, listen, we need to get in some conversation because, like I said, look, we like to get to know RTO and what's happened on there, but we're going to get there too. But we need to get to
Mm,
know you a little bit more because obviously you are
yeah,
someone who existed before the RTL, before you were on that show. So my favorite
right.
question to ask at the very beginning is, Cam, who is Cam and what is Cam's story?
That's a deep question because there's a lot to it. But
Mm,
honestly, I'm just a regular laid back guy from Philly, born and raised in Philly. Firefighter, as you know. And I just like to help people. I like to go out. I like to hang out with the friends, do all the single guy bachelor life stuff. So I'm pretty straightforward. I've been through a lot. I healed through a lot,
come
and
on.
I built myself up to be the man that I am today. So I'm proud of my story at this point.
Okay. I love that. I love that. And obviously, your firefighting is a massive thing that was on RTL as well.
Yeah.
To ask a bit more about that. What made you get into that profession? Because you got to be a brave soldier to get into that, man. Fighting fires ain't no joke. So I
Yeah,
would love.
no, it's not.
What got you into that?
Honestly, it came from like when I graduated high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like honestly, all thing I knew was like sports. And after high school, once I realized, all right, what am I doing? I had no idea. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to survive out in this world because I have no interest in anything. Um, but all I knew is I wanted to help people. I wanted a job that I had to stay in shape for, and just like to work in like a team environment, just like sports, pretty much. So firefighting just made sense. Like it checked all those boxes, and um, I don't know. I'm not really afraid of a lot of things, to be honest with you. If I can help somebody, then that fear is just gone. Like I'd rather I'm a helpful person. Like I get joy in helping other people, I'm gonna say. So I always, put fear to the back of my mind and just focus on the goal of if I could help somebody or do anything to possibly save a life, then I feel like that's the greatest thing you can do in this life. So kind of attracted me to it.
I love that. So obviously for you then, what has been the hardest thing about being a firefighter? Because obviously, you have your vision, you have your this is what I want to be, but when you actually get into it, what's the most difficult part about being a firefighter?
Yeah. You see a lot. I mean, you see the worst of society, to be honest with you.
Mm,
I realize that even when I tell stories about what happens at the job, I got to remind myself, like, if I'm talking to somebody who isn't a firefighter, I'm like, oh, this is not normal. Like, I can't put that type of trauma on people that's not used to seeing it. I realize my job isn't normal. But you see everything, like everything you see on the news, and you're like, damn, that's crazy. I'm there, actually dealing with it face to face. So it's hard, especially when it comes to like children and just everything, It's like we get calls for car accidents, people falling off of somebody fell off a building. Like we just get a lot, suicides, all of that. And I get to see that firsthand and it could weigh on you, honestly, if you allow it to. That's why I like you got to be really mindful of your mental health in this profession because that type of trauma can manifest itself in so many ways that's not good. So yeah, you definitely see a lot. You definitely internalize a lot, and I think that's why I'm kind of guarded a little bit because if I show up on scene, I can't show emotion. Like I'm here to solve the problem. So kind of that bleeds into other areas of my life. So yeah, I would say that that's probably the hardest part.
Now you said obviously it bleeds into other areas. I love that,
Mm.
and that kind of imagery there. Um, how have you noticed that it bleeds into other areas for you?
I think even when getting to know people, it takes me a while. It takes me a while to warm up a little bit. I guess that probably even showed on the show. It just takes me a while. Like I'm not so forthcoming with, my feelings and all of that stuff. So because, again, to be a big, mainly firefighter, you kind of have to not think about your feelings. You gotta just have to focus on the task at hand sometimes. So, I kind of have to break out of that mold. But once I get comfortable with you, it's like a open gate. Like you get all of me. So it just takes me a while to warm up to people.
Hmm. Is that then? Because obviously, like sometimes people are born to be in a profession because they have gone through things in life that have prepared them for the role that they're actually in.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
What would you say that you've been through, maybe before you joined the firefighter force, that has contributed towards you being able to handle such a job in the way that you handle it?
Mm. I think that's a good question because I know there's certain aspects of my life that's things I've been through as far as mental health or whatever. We get a lot of those type of calls, right? So and I know how to empathize with people. Like I'm super like an empath, crazy. So when I go out to help people or somebody's going through an issue that is the worst day of their life, I guess what I've been through helps me to empathize with the person, which helps me to help them more. or to put myself in their shoes and not view it as a job, but view it as like that's a human being, like a human being that needs help, and I could be the one to help them. So I think that's, yeah. I never really thought about that question. It's
Mm.
an interesting question, but yeah, I think like my empathy and the things that I've been through that made me have empathy helps me on my job.
I love that because I think you know
Yeah,
it's never easy like to. I think certain professions they are so skilled in a way that um, people don't maybe realize that sometimes you go through things that really do emphasize your ability to handle what you're bringing to the table, and what you're able to do in a job like that. I love doing what I do because of what I experienced in my own childhood and stuff. So
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love being able to talk to people and just have deep conversations and connect with
Mm.
them on that realm as well. I mean, was
Yeah.
firefighting always your childhood dream? In that was that always your
Honestly, no.
thing?
To be honest with you, like I said, it was never on my brain until like after high school, and I actually thought
Mm.
about like what I really wanted to do. Because in high school, I sucked at high school. I didn't care about school. I was doing whatever. So it's kind of like, but after high school, when it got real, it was like, all right, what I'm doing. Um, so yeah, so I think that I didn't get hired on until I was 28. So it took me a long time to actually get on the job, because it's real competitive to be a firefighter across the country. Um, but it's something when I found out that I wanted to do it, again, it just checked every box. Like I'm super competitive, super competitive. So on a fire, you gotta be aggressive. You gotta be like want to be that guy. And it just fit. It's one of those things where everything happened for a reason, and it kind of
Mm.
just fits me who I am and what I like and what I value. And it just kind of one of those things that worked out perfectly.
Mm. So then, for you, then was because you obviously said like it was something that came later on, right?
Yeah,
Being a
yeah.
firefighter. So then, what was the dream then before then?
I wasn't heavy into sports. I was like, I'm gonna be a professional in something. I don't know what sport I'm playing in, but just the lifestyle, the athlete lifestyle, I just kind of like, I don't know. I My dad used to take me to the baseball games, the basketball games, like, and I just something that I love, and I love the competitiveness. Like even as a kid, when we playing games, we could play a game of Uno, and I lose, I'll be stomping around and all mad 'cause I'm super competitive, and just the competition of it is just I always love. So that kind of like always
Mm.
was my thing.
Mm. Did you get a competitive streak then from your dad? Is that something that is that in the family, or is that just something that you
Oh,
just developed yourself?
probably my mom, to be honest with you. I get my laid back part from my dad. My dad's super like super nice guy, super laid back. My mom is the fiery one. Like my
Mm.
mom is the yeah, like my parents grew up in the projects, like so my mom is the fiery one, so I kind of have a good balance of being chill, but when I get turned on, I get turned on. So it's like it's a good balance that I got.
Mm, okay, fair enough. Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah,
So
yeah.
obviously for you then kind of like growing up, because obviously, you got two sides, mom and your dad as well. Like,
Right,
what was
right.
it like growing up in the household that you grew up in? What was that like? Take us into that space.
Um, I mean, it was challenges like anything. Everybody don't have a perfect childhood, but compared to what was around me, it was a great childhood. I had both parents. Um, my parents didn't have me in the worst of the worst areas in Philly. I had one older sister. She's 2 years older than me, and it was just us two. And um, I feel like my parents gave me a fighting chance to actually like be something
Mm,
in this world because the way they grew up was in not ideal areas, not ideal situations, and they wanted better for their family. And even though we didn't have a lot, they did what they can. They did what they could in order so I could have a fighting chance. So um, but yeah, it was dope though. Like we always my mom used to work for Amtrak, so we used to ride the train from Philly to Orlando to go to Disney World like every year. It wasn't a bad childhood. I think the drama started later when I in my teenage years when I turned into like the black sheep of my family. But
mm,
childhood was good though.
okay. What the black sheep of the family? What's they?
I know,
Hmm?
right?
Why was you the black sheep,
Um,
sir? Hmm?
I
Mr. Competitor.
But yeah, yeah, just because I was a stupid young boy in Philly that was doing
Mm,
stupid stuff. Like, And the whole thing about like I grew up, my household was very, very religious. My parents was very religious, household was very religious, and I got to the point where like I wanted to learn things on my own. I don't like to be told what to do. I want to learn things for myself. So when you grow up in a household, is like do this, you're supposed to do this, go there, and this praise God that way, and it's like it just puts you in a box. And I kind of just like hated it always. And I was just that type of person that just needed to learn on my own, even if it was the
Mm.
bad thing to do or not ideal. I needed to learn it on my own. So it was always friction in my household because of that, because I didn't follow what my parents wanted me to. So yeah, it kind of like it wasn't ideal, but you know, it is what it is.
What were you searching for then? Obviously, you've been
Mm.
in a strict Christian household. I'm in a Christian household myself. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit later on in life, I decided to do my little mad behaviors, not necessarily street life, but the ladies. But
That
what was
too.
it that you were searching for then in that space as you become a black sheep? What were you really searching for, looking back at that time?
Mm. I think I think when it comes to matters of like spirituality, like yeah,
Mm,
faith is important, right? And if you don't test it, how you know that you got it? So I had to do more than just being told what to do and do it. I had to be like, all right, I need to learn something for myself. Like, why am I doing this? Because if I didn't prove it to myself, I couldn't do it. And I was always interested. I research every religion. Like I'm just interested in stuff like that. I'm interested in religions and spirituality. Like I love talking about it. But I like to learn about different religions. I can't put myself in a box and say, "Hey, I'm this and I'm that." Because if I say I'm this, then that means I'm saying that's wrong. And I see the good in all. So it's just like a personal conviction, personal idea that I had as I see the good in all, so I can't be one.
mm. Okay, I like that. So then,
Yeah.
obviously, leading on to that,
Mm,
like I said, you're a black sheep of the family.
mm,
We on a show Ready to Love right now. Someone
yeah.
might say that's anti. You doing something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But before we
yeah,
get to that
yeah.
stage,
Uh,
obviously, Cam, how was the dating life? Because obviously, like I said, you only got interested in firefighting a little bit later on. You're the
right.
black sheep now. You're testing the boundaries of faith and everything as well. When
Mm.
is it that dating comes in for you?
I've always was probably I always dated since I was like
Mm.
12. I had a
Mm.
girlfriend in kindergarten when I was 6. Like it was just always a thing for me. Like I don't know why. Maybe we was just growing up too fast in the school I went to, but we just always had little girlfriends, little relationships, acting like we was grown. So um, I don't know. That's just always been a thing for me. But seriously, like serious relationships, I mean, you can have your high school loves and all of that stuff, but whether that's serious or not, I don't know. But my first like love probably came after high school when I was like 19 or so, 18, 19. But we always act like we was grown and had little girlfriends running around the schoolyard and all that.
Here, question pops into my head, slightly sideways from this particular aspect, breaking
Uh,
my natural process. Sideways, question pops in my head, random, very random.
mhm,
Cam, who knows the real Cam outside of the guard? Who knows the
mm.
real Cam?
Um, I would say two people like really, really know me. Well, I would say my niece for sure,
Mm,
because that's like my favorite person in the world. So, definitely my niece and my little sis, Tiff.
mm,
She'll actually show up in one of the episodes, but yeah, she's been with me through every bad relationship. Like she just seen it all. Like now, so now every time I meet a girl, it's a requirement for her to meet Tiff,
mm,
because that's just like she tells me, "Oh, Cam, she bad for you, or she good for you?" Because apparently I'm a horrible judge of character, so
mm.
I need some help to to weed out the bad ones. So, but that's my little sis, and she's like, she always been there with me throughout the years. So yeah, she definitely knows me, and yeah, I would say them two for sure.
Interesting. Where does this guard come from then? because you said you have the guard, but what you've described to me
Mm,
doesn't really bring a guard. I mean, yeah, if you grew up in a household, Christian household, yeah, that
mm.
maybe make you a bit more rebellious,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah.
But where does the guard for you come from?
I think if you want to get deep with it, I was a quiet kid, like super quiet kid. Like I barely
Mm,
talked at all. Like honestly, I was just like that little kid that you forget is in the room. Um, and I said this because I'm heavy into like therapy and all that, right? And I said it to my therapist. I was like, I wasn't, I wasn't emotionally seen as a child. Like I was just like, you know how, back in the day, hey, you used to stay in a child's place, A, B, and C.
yeah.
But like nobody, I don't know. It's like you're supposed to be a good kid and do A, B, and C, but nobody really is like, hey, Cam, what do you think about this? So that's why when I helped raise my niece, I made sure that she was seen. And I was like, I really would talk to her like she was an adult when she was a toddler, because
Mhm,
I would ask like, "Hey, what's wrong?" And she's like, "No, and I'm good," because that's what she's used to doing. I'm like, "No, what's wrong?" And then she'll just spill it out. So I'm like, "Oh, these kids really need that outlet to be emotionally seen and to actually be cared about what they say, because they people, they got thoughts and feelings just like us." So I feel like I kind of lacked that in my childhood. So I guess that in a sense made me go in my little shell a little bit, you feel me?
mm,
And that kind of just like stayed a thing to adulthood. But I've gotten a lot better because like I said, it just takes me time, but once I get comfortable, like you won't get me to shut up. So it's yeah, it's definitely improving, and I'm aware of it. So,
mm.
it's about improving every day, about stuff that you need to work on. So that's what I'm doing.
That's not easy. I know definitely how it feels to be overlooked, and to not have your emotional needs necessarily met.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
To be
yeah,
seen.
yeah.
That's a massive, massive, massive thing, especially for
Hmm.
young men as well.
For
Okay,
sure, for sure. Yeah.
so then obviously then going back forward now
Mhm.
into dating. You see, we bypassed kindergarten and the little girls that you were being a bad boy with when you were younger.
Yeah.
When you get to a more mature stage
Mhm.
and you're in dating, what's that like for you? Because obviously, if you've got the guard, I've got the guard, so I know what it looks like. I know how it feels. You've got
Yeah,
a
yeah.
guard, and then your sister said, you maybe you're a horrible chooser. What kind of
Mhm.
women were you choosing that she got to see that this is not the right type of woman for you?
Um, I think I was choosing. I think I was choosing women that like I wanted to see through, which is crazy because it translates into like what's happening, especially now and on the show and all that stuff. But it's like that's part of my past. Like I choose not the right girl that's like she's a little rah-rah, she's a little, misunderstood. But I was misunderstood as a child. So I empathize with people who are misunderstood because I'm like, they just need, again, I guess this is a thing with me, they need somebody to care about them. They need somebody to talk to them and really be like, and people are misunderstood because they got them walls up because they might have got hurt in the past, or they say, oh, don't nobody care anyway, so why am I, being open and honest with people? So, um, but yeah, I should mess with the little hood chicks and all that had me in some stuff that I shouldn't have had been in. And I kind of always made that mistake. But I dealt with it's a lot of craziness in my past as far as like me choosing the wrong woman and all of that stuff. So yeah, it was a lot.
Interesting. So for you, you were dealing with the women that needed to be seen, and you were seeing them. You were seeing
Yeah,
them.
I was saying that because I know how I feel. You feel me? Like I know
Hmm.
how I feel, so I'm like I just kind of see myself in them, and
Hmm.
I don't know. It just happened that way.
And what was the result? So choosing someone that you could see, that you were seeing them, and hopefully they would be able to see you. What was the result of the end of these relationships? How did they turn out? Because little hood chicks can still be good. So how did it
Yeah,
turn out for you?
man. Horribly, but but we still try. We still try. We kind of we put our best foot forward. But
Mm,
I never again like I think I said on the show like I never been my longest relationship has been 2 years. Like my
okay.
relationships has always been like 3 months, 4 months. Like I couldn't get over the 4 month mark. to save my life
Why?
in my early 20s, like my 20s, my mid 20s. I have no idea. It's like I would feel it every time. Like I'll be with somebody and then it hit month four, and I'm like I get bored easily too. So that's the thing.
Mm,
So I'll be like, all right, like I just didn't know how to be in a long-term relationship after the honeymoon phases out. It's like, all right, now what? And I didn't know what to do after that. I didn't know how to sustain something. So it was
mm,
just like it was all about about emotions and fireworks. And no, this person make me feel good, so I'm gonna be with that person. But as far as sustaining, I just I ain't have it. Sometimes it was my fault. Sometimes it was the girl I chose fault. But I just didn't have good luck with that.
did you figure it out in the end?
I think I did. Yeah,
That's
especially
the forward
now.
mark.
Uh,
Mm,
Especially, yeah. I mean, I was like saying I was in two relationships that lasted for 2 years each. So I kind of like was improving and whatnot. And especially now, like I see my immaturity, um, and stuff that I need to work on, and realize that nobody's gonna be perfect. Because like that was my issue, right? Like I had this perfect image of somebody, and then as
yeah.
soon as I see like a crack in the foundation, I'm like, oh no, she ain't perfect. I gotta find somebody who's perfect. So, and that's what I always was chasing, like, oh, the girl that I'm supposed to be with is going to be not perfect, but she's going to have everything that I ever wanted. But that's not realistic, and it wasn't
Mm,
fair for me to put that on a person of what I think that they should be like. So,
mm,
it was a lot of trial and error in my past while trying to figure that out. But I'm at the space right now where it's like, all right, I understand it, and now I'm trying to fit somebody. Now I'm trying to like have somebody that fits the mold of, all right, she's not perfect, but she's perfect for me, and so that's what I'm learning as I grow.
love that. Sounds like the if a lot of times I do work around attachments. It sounds like a dismissive, avoidant attachment boy. The way that you describe that in terms of how you
Yeah,
get bored easily. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
man. I don't know what it is. I just as soon as that 4 month mark hit, I was like, all right, I'm bored. Who's next? Like, and it was
Mm,
bad, you know what I mean? And I regret it because people get hurt, feelings get hurt, and I don't want to hurt
yeah.
nobody no more. So yeah, it's definitely something I had to grow out of.
Mm. It's gonna be interesting because when we talk about certain somebody, we're gonna find out because sound a little similar to me. Okay, cool. Okay, so so I mean, like you said, you had been in two relationships that were 2 years long. Why go on to Ready to Love? Because it's clearly you're not suffering in terms of getting the ladies. So what takes you on to Ready to Love?
Because ultimately those relationships still fail, right? So it was
Mm,
like,
okay.
so it's not like, oh, I can't find nobody out here. I'm gonna go on this dating show. It's like, no, what I'm doing is not working. So let me try something new and try something like completely crazy in order to see if it changes for me. Like I always used to joke around with my friends, and I said like, if my next relationship don't work, I'm gonna sign up for a show because apparently what I'm doing is not working. And like it was like it's just a playful thing, and then I found out Ready to Love was coming to Philly, and I kind of applied as a joke, like, all right, they ain't gonna choose me, I'm gonna sign up for this. And they kept pushing me through the process and pushed me through the process, and I fully didn't expect to be on the show because I don't know how this TV stuff work. I'm not an actor. I'm not it's social media and like I'm not none of that. You feel me? So when they said, "Oh, all right, Cam, you part of the cast," I'm like, "Oh, okay." I involved myself in something crazy, but let's do it.
Mm, I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, obviously, did you watch a show before you go into a show? You ever watch it?
Yeah, I did. This actually sounds kind of bad, but
No,
me,
that's not bad.
me and a girl that I used to talk to, like this kind of used to be like our show we used to watch together. You know how a girl watch the show and then
Oh,
she make you watch the show and then you start getting into it too. So
oh.
so that
What
was like
season
kind
were
of
you
like our
watching?
I had to start on like I didn't watch the first season. I think I started like in season three, and then
Okay.
I think I watched like almost every season after that. I
Mm,
might took a break here and there, but yeah, so I was familiar with the show. Um, so it was just ironic that I ended up on it, which
mm.
so yeah.
Hey, listen, I hear that's real. Okay, so you would have already known about Ready to Love. So when you're coming into it, what were your expectations going into Ready to Love? Um, coming onto the show, what were your expectations? What were you expecting?
To be honest, bro, I ain't have no expectations. I was super open-minded. I was like, look, I don't know what's gonna come from this, but I wanted to change something for how I approach dating, to be honest with you. Like I really came in with pure intentions. Because again, like I said, I've been doing the wrong thing this whole time. So let me try something new. And I was just super open-minded. So I didn't want to overthink it. Because then if I did overthink it, then I would have been in my head the whole time, like, thinking about old TV and old cameras and old like nah, I just wanted to really be like pure minded and be like, all right, I'm here. I'm putting my full effort and energy into this, and whatever happens, happens.
Mm. I want to scoot back and go forward again quickly.
Mm.
The two relationships that were 2 years long, you said obviously, yeah, they didn't work out. Why did they not work out?
That's a few things. Is one of them, I was in the fire academy with one of them, and well, I was in the fire academy during the 2 year relationship, and it's very stressful. Like you have no time for anybody in your life. It's for 9 months long. It's like boot camp, and she felt kind of like unseen, and I'm like, look, I got to pay these bills. So, because in the academy, you could do the smallest thing and get fired and have no job. And at that point, she was in my house, like I was paying everything inside the house. So I'm like, look, if I don't pass the academy class, we're not gonna have a roof over our head. So allow me to do this, and then I promise you'll be the main focus after that. And it just the timing of it, she wanted to be seen at that point in time, and I didn't have the time or energy. So
That's fair.
yeah, so unfortunately, it just happened like that.
That's fair. I
Mm,
understand that. In
yeah,
the other
yeah.
relationships, you had two longs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The other one is, and I'm still my other one. I'm still cool with her. Like she's still
Okay.
cool. We're not on the greatest terms, but she I was a little older than her. I had about like 4 years, something like that. And I don't know. I say this all the time. Like, I felt like the dad in that relationship. Like I had to show her what life was about. And
Mm,
I didn't want that. Like, I know some guys like that. Some guys like to groom they girls and have them mold them into be. I'm not into that. Like I want you. I don't always have all the answers myself. So I need a partner, not a princess that I gotta explain the world to. You feel me? So yeah, I need a partner that if I fall down, I gotta trust that she is solid enough to pick me up and have the answers when I
mm,
don't as well. So like a true partnership. So that kind of weighed on me a little bit. And, a lot of other small stuff happened as well, um, but that was a major component in that. And like I said, she's still the sweetest girl in the world. Like I care about her, but I gotta figure out what I need. You feel me? Or because you care about a person, don't mean that it's gonna really work out with them. So yeah, so unfortunately, that's how that ended.
I like that. Okay. Going back forward then. So your
Mm,
first day at the mixer, you know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like the mixer comes, you know, I think you guys had a split mixer, right? You had two mixers, so
yeah.
you guys had a split mixer.
Mm.
Um, what were your first thoughts of the ladies when you got there? Because you get in there and you scouted, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
the vision.
I think the first person I talked to like in the whole process was Coley. Like that was the first person like when I first walked in, that's the first person I talked to when we was talking for a while. Um and Coley was cool, I was a bag of nerves that day. I think everybody was. Like it's just the cameras and new people, it was a lot and it was also like 1,000 degrees out there. So it was just a crazy day. But um but it was just me trying to find time to get to know everybody. It was 10 women, like it was my fault, it was 5 women at that mixer. But it was just like a whirlwind, like and everybody said the same thing, like speed dating on crack. Like that's exactly what it is. So I think I was in my head, I couldn't even focus for real on everything. But I walked away with that mixer like really attracted to like 3 people from my mixer that I really kind of like had my eye on that I was like, all right, I gotta learn more about them.
Hmm. Expand.
I'm about to say who the three, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it was gonna be Rose, Sahara, and Tay. Like that was just instantly like, from the conversation. Because looks is all right for me, but I'm really big on personality. You need to look good, but you need to actually, have a good personality to back that up. So when I talked to them, it was like, okay, they really they solid, all for their own reasons, you know. So I think, yeah, that's where the attraction was on that first day.
Okay, so that attraction, because I know
Mm,
DAs, I'm a dismissing avoidance. I know how we are. We do like
uh-huh.
personality, we like looks, but we like who likes us. So if we were to take who likes us out of the picture,
Mm,
those who like, I like those who like me, would
mm.
that still be the three, or would there be other people coming into the picture? If we were to take out whether they liked us or not, would that would that number increase?
No, I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. Yes, you're attracted to who's attracted to you because
Mm-hmm.
it has to be equal interest.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like personality wise, like I like them for all their own reasons, and it's not just because they was into me. Um, like even like me and Rose, like we was talking about, he was talking and we kind of just vibed out on just talking. Like I think that was the best conversation I had that day. Or Rose, I really like sat down with her and we was really just talking. I was like, oh, she dope. Like I'm feeling everything that she's saying. So it wasn't about, oh, she's into me, so I might as well just talk to her. It was like, no, I really like talked to these women and seeing like who they was as a person as much as I could on the first day. And
Mm-hmm.
I like what I seen on those three women.
Okay, so first day, who was in the lead for you from the first, just the first day? Like, who was in the lead at that point
First day was
and
Rose
why?
on the first day for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. That was
Okay.
again we just vibe, and it's crazy because like we didn't get a chance to talk like in the beginning, in the first half of the mixer, but then we kind of looked at each other like, yo, we got to find time for each other. Like we got to talk to each other, and then we found our way to each other, and we just had like a dope conversation. So she was definitely like my top from day one.
Now you said she was dope. What was it about? I know you guys were talking, it was dope. What
Yeah,
was it
yeah.
about her that just kind of caught you? What was pulling you in, as they like to say?
She was just a grown ass woman, you know?
Mm,
Like she was just
mm,
she had her kid and she was a hard worker. She was saying like, yeah, I got three jobs because it's just me and I got a kid and I do what I have to do to make it work. And it was just like I'm a big energy person. Like she just had like the energy of softness. Like I get it, I got three jobs, but I understand the importance of a man in my life. Like I hold down a home right now because I got to, but I understand the importance of the man. So I don't know. I loved her energy and I loved her softness and I loved how she knew what she wanted. And that's what I say on like I'm talking like a grown woman. She knows what she wants, she knows what she needs. And she's going after it pretty much by being on the show. Like she's actively seeking what she needs. So I definitely seen that in her on since day one.
mm. Okay. So Tay also day one was also someone who
Mhm.
caught your eye, and the connection seems to be. What was it about Tay from day one, on the day one dot, just day one? What was it that
Um,
was capturing you?
Tay is just a sweetheart. Like honestly, just like
Mm,
she's just a sweetheart. She's just a ball of little energy with her 5'1" self. Like she just she's just sweet. I think with Tay, like the attraction was originally like, okay, the site, she looks pretty and all of that. And then I was talking to her like saying, oh, she's a sweetheart. The more I talk with Tay, I kind of realized that, oh, we kind of vibe more on a friend vibe because it was so easy. And me and her used to talk about all like everything. She used to give me advice on stuff. I gave her advice on things. But the first day, like, yeah, the attraction of like, oh, she's a sweet girl and she's pretty, so that's what attracted me to her. But as I was talking to her, I kind of got like, all right, she's gonna be a dope homie, and I was completely fine with that. So she's a great person. Like love Tay. Tay's really like a great person, and she's just sweet. That's the best word I can describe her.
now, brother, you're saying homie. I don't know about you, but I don't be
Mm.
wifing. I don't be friending these chicks that I like. Okay. I don't know about you, but I'm enjoying myself. So,
Yeah,
sir, I'm gonna need a rephrase. What do you mean? What do you mean friendship? Because you see, that's the same thing I got from Fritz too. He tried to say that friendship. I said,
yeah, yeah,
what are
yeah.
y'all seeing that you're saying friendship like that? What is it? Let's be honest now. You know,
I, I,
why are we saying friendship? Because that's a good looking woman.
it is a good looking woman, but I think that like you know what roles a person plays in your life, or what role a person will play in your life. It's no, I don't know. It's like I think it was two things, honestly. I think it was a mix of like, oh, she seems like the homie. She's a
Okay.
pretty girl, but she seemed like the homie. And Francisco was had hard eyes on day one on day, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, and he my man. So, but I know that's not like a reason to step back, but it was just a mix of the two. Like I got homie vibes from her, and my man is like falling in love. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'd rather focus on somebody that I get that type of energy from, of like, all right, like that could be like my girl. Like yeah, I could explore with her more and try to like dig a little deep to see if it was something there. But I'd rather have somebody who really like, yo, that's the one. And I'm like, oh well, I don't feel like that. So here, like go ahead and talk to her. So yeah, I think it was a mix between those two things.
Okay. Let me throw a little
Yeah.
span in the works here. Is it that? Is it that in this instance with Tay, was she closed off, or does Cam need a little more spice? Because out of all the three ladies, Tay is probably the calmest on the outwardly. On the outwardly, I don't know how to see
Probably.
it because
Yeah,
some of
yeah,
them
yeah.
got a bit more spikiness. But
Right, right, right.
is it that she was closed off, or
Uh-huh.
is it the fact that Cam, when it comes to these ladies, Tay needs a little bit more spice to get you gingered?
No, I mean, how can I explain this? It's not anything wrong with Spice, obviously, but I don't think that was the case with her. I don't think like
Mm,
I could have talked to her. Um, but yeah, I don't think that's the case with her. Like, yeah, I love a little Spice. I love a little yeah, I guess that's the best word to describe it, Spice. But I was okay with who she was. I was okay with her being her sweet self. It's
mm,
just that I don't know. You have conversations with people and you kind of instantly know, who they are, like how, the vibe between y'all. And it's like, okay, all right, she pretty girl. I'm never gonna take that away from her. But also it's like, all right, I get the conversation was like, all right, yeah, we could be cool, like homies, like da da da. Da. And then, other people was like, oh yeah, I'm on her. And I'm like, okay, bro. Like, I'm sure there's gonna be other girls that I'm on. And if that's you, then that's you. I'm not gonna try to pry into something when I don't have pure intentions on it. I'm not gonna force nothing. So yeah, I think that's what it was.
mm.
See,
Now, Cam,
what's up? What you got for me? What you got for
we are
me?
men here. We are men.
Hmm. Hmm.
We are men. Mm. I'll leave it there. Okay, so then obviously moving past the mixer. Sorry, not past the mixer because Sahara was also there in the mixer, right? You had
Right,
Sahara in
right,
your
right, right.
mixer. Obviously, that
Hmm.
was her second. I think that was not your first. It was second. Were you in the second
That
batch?
was her. That was her
So
second.
she,
Yeah, I was in the second batch.
the
Yeah,
second.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
because she was obviously had to make up for the first one, right? So
Right, right,
what was your? Because the rest of us were like, "Yo,
right.
Sahara coming in like a wrecking ball."
Right, right.
I want to understand your process here, Cam.
I
Huh? We
think
want
it's
to understand where your
everybody
process
trying
is.
to find out. Yeah, everybody trying to understand that because but I think just like I talked about my past, that's kind of explains it.
Mm-hmm.
She's Sahara is purely herself at all times. You know,
Okay.
when I talk to other women, sometimes they give you what they want you to see. Cameras
Mm.
around, they want to act a certain type of way, or they want to, whatever. But with her, it's like, hey, this is me for better or for worse, And I was like, oh, that's dope. Like I liked her energy because I was like, oh, she don't care. Like she don't care about nothing. Like she's just her. And believe me, I can see what everybody else see. Believe me. I can like as far as like her being brash and her being like too much for some people. But that's a quality that I kind of I kind of I kind of
Hmm.
envy a little bit. Like just
I
somebody
like
who can
that. Hmm.
truly be themselves in every situation and not care what nobody think. Like this is me.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, like yeah. So even if that personality was attached to a
Another person.
a a butt ugly girl, like I mean, like I was still being treated. I'm like, oh, you dope. You a dope person in general. Like, but with her, it was just, and then also she kind of reminded me of past women that you used to talk to that has that type of personality. So I kind of fell into what was familiar for me. And I was in my head a lot with her because I was like, damn, Cam, are you going backwards? Like, are you just doing what
Mm.
you been doing this whole time and it hasn't been working? Like you here to do something new. And I struggle with that for a lot of the show. And what was if I was making the right choice with that as far as is it I'm just doing more of the same or if this is
Mm.
something that that is new. But I don't know. I just envied her. I envied her personality because she was just so pure, and me and her from the same area in Philly too. So it was just an easy talk, a easy conversation, and I enjoyed her.
Mm. I love the fact you've been so authentic there and honest about your thoughts there. I think that's such a powerful thing. I
Mm,
want to tap into that a little bit more because I think your what you're saying is going to help a few other people as well. I always say
mm,
that dating is like a mirror, and what we look for are two things in people. One, similarities, things that they do similar to us, but two, also the things that we don't have that they have. And that usually
mhm.
that's what draws people in. Just depends on what they're
Right.
drawing you in, you know. And I love the fact you
Yeah.
said about loving the fact that she was authentically her in every situation, which I think is a powerful statement to make as well. How did her being authentically her affect you, and how did it make you feel about you?
I think she's in a sense the opposite of me, but same. Cause like
Mm,
I have that rah rah energy too, but I'm the laid back guy like we talked about before. It takes a while for me to open up. So then when I see a person that's just open the first second you meet them, I'm like, oh,
mhm,
like that's what I need to do more. That's what I'm striving. Not that totally, but I'm striving to like learn how to open up more. And if I see a person that does it so easily, I'm like, oh, okay, like that's a person that's confident in themselves and then all of that. So um she was just a good balance for me. Like she was a lot, but sometimes I need a lot to bring me up. And like and to counterbalance my calmness. So it was just she pulled me out. Like even if I'm chilling laid back and I'm kind of like reserved and in my shell, she'll come over and not care about any of that. She's like, I don't care you all in your move right now. Come on, let's do it. Like so it kind of helped me, you know what I mean? And it was a good balance for me. So that's definitely a way like she spoke to me in a way that I wanted to like she's pulling things out of me that I wanted to improve in myself.
understood.
Yeah.
Moving on for that first day, you
Mhm.
know, you guys get to start developing some obviously relations with people. Now, obviously, you had an encounter which I think we all felt a bit of sympathy for you. You encountered your fellow firefighter. Shout out to
Yes.
DEONNA. I talked to her. She's actually quite cool. I can't lie to you. Beautiful woman. Um,
Mm.
Talk to me from your perspective. So we I spoke to DEONNA about this, and I said I didn't like what she did because I didn't like it. I know she had her ways, but I didn't like it because as a man, it's never a nice feeling to come across that. But what was your perspective in the situation with DEONNA? Because it looks like like you said, you came over there, two firefighters. You
Mm.
talking, trying to build a bridge,
Right.
and
Exactly.
just at the job, it tore the bridge down. Fire went right
Right.
through it. What was your perspective of that scenario and that situation between you and DEONNA as well?
um Confused. I mean, like I didn't know where the energy came from. I don't have no ill will towards her. Like that was the one and only conversation I ever had with her in life. That and it happened on camera. And the conversation started off friendly, like, okay, like, we both on the job. Where you work at? I work over here. Have you seen me around? No, okay, yeah, da 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 da. And then it just turned into like her telling me all the reasons why she wouldn't date me. Like, oh, you just, I'm like, I never, and I never expressed interest in her. You feel me? It's like they just say, "Oh, y'all both firefighters. Go and talk." Like, okay, cool. Like, da da da. I know she's a pretty woman. I'm not taking nothing from her, but I never expressed interest in her. So I guess how they chop things up is TV. So I guess they made it seem like that I kind of shot my shot and I got shot down. But no, we were just literally having a friendly conversation. Um, but yeah, I just didn't know where it came from, and it caught me off guard because I was like laughing the whole time because I just didn't take it serious. I didn't take it to heart, to be honest with you. It made it seem like that I was like intimidated or something like that. And I tell people all the time, like, I'm not intimidated by anything. So it wasn't like, she didn't pull rank on me. We both firefighters, we both the same rank. She just got more time on the job as me. Being a fire academy trainer is not a promotion or anything like that. It's a thing that anybody can do. Um, but I don't know. It was very confusing, and I didn't know where the energy came from, and I still don't know, to be honest with you. Um, but she still has her opinion. She still is talking about it to other people and about things. I just don't know. I'm just confused, honestly, to be honest with you. So more power to her. I'm never gonna like down talk nobody, even if they down talk me, because I just don't feed into that type of energy, and I like to protect my peace. But I don't know. I didn't take it wasn't what TV made it seem to be. Like, I wasn't salty, I wasn't hurt, I wasn't mad. I was literally was like laughing throughout the whole time. 'Cause I'm like, okay, like, I don't know where this coming from. You don't know me, but you seem to have a lot of opinions about me, so go right ahead.
Did you guys ever have a conversation after, or never had a conversation after?
Nope.
Didn't think to address it? No, didn't think that maybe
Mm-mm.
like the way she addressed it was off, and like
And
to see how she did.
ag- again, like, I'm heavy in protecting my peace. So if I peep something from the first day, or you give me a certain type of energy and stuff like that, I could crash out easy too, but I'm not trying to do that. So it's kind of like, if I see a situation that doesn't serve me, I'm like, okay, I don't need to engage in that anymore. Um, so I just, yeah, and I kind of like blocked it out. I kind of like act like she didn't exist after that because we don't need to address it. Apparently she was hurt by something, but I don't need to know what she was hurt by. She deals with it in her way, and I go and live my life and not let it affect me. So, uh, so yeah, I mean, if anybody knows or you talk to her, what was up with that, I don't know, but more power to her. I'm never going down talk. I'm never going to stoop to that. I'm just going to just live my life and allow people to live theirs.
No, I totally understand. No, no,
Hmm.
no, I get that. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a
We'll leave that
weird
alone. Not too
interaction.
much on my DEONNA. Shout out to her. Um,
Yeah, for sure, for
no
sure.
jokes. But no, no. I get it. I understand it as well. And like I said, I never liked it when I saw it. I didn't think it was the way to handle anybody, whether you like them or not. So I definitely understand that
Right,
as
exactly.
well. It's a shame
Yeah,
we didn't get to have a conversation, but I understand. Okay.
yeah.
So then,
Mhm.
you had another situation.
Mm.
You and Fritz.
Which one? Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the situation. All right.
What was going on there? I spoke to Fritz. Obviously, I don't think I even asked him, but properly actually, how what the situation was with you and Cam. But what happened between you and Fritz? Because obviously that situation, I'm not saying it was like the craziest thing. It's just more of a like a
Right.
we had a disagreement, a little check in. You know what I'm saying, to the usual men stuff. What was it from your side? How come it got to the place it got to where you felt like you had to check him and let him know that he's off point right now?
Um, because I feel like he was, as a man, to be honest, I feel like he was playing in my face. And as a man, when there's some other grown ass man playing in your face, then it got to be addressed. Um, it it was a what? So that situation, it was like, it wasn't like he said it like two times, like, "Oh, we need to get her out of here," talking about Sahara, and I just snapped. This literally was like an ongoing thing. When we was in the lounge, of like 10 and 15 minutes of him saying the same thing over and over and over again, but saying it in a quiet way, like, hey yo, like, and we go around and tell everybody, yeah, who our tops is, who are, who we feeling, who we not feeling in the men's lounge. So you hear me say who I'm into, right? Like you hear me say, like, yeah, Sahara's one of my tops because I like her A, B, and C. And then you proceed to keep saying like, yo, yeah, we need to get Sahara out of here. Yeah, yo, get Sahara out of here. Da, 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 da. Like, bro, you just heard me say I'm into her, right? You're entitled to her opinion. I know everybody's not into her. I get that. That's fine. I'm not here to judge other people's opinions of her. But at the same time, you're not going to just keep playing in my face and keep saying, yo, get Sahara out of here. Yo, get like, nah, bro. We not doing that. And I've heard him say, and again, like I said, I'm not stirring the pot with anybody because again, I'm trying to protect my peace. But I hear him say like, "Oh yeah, he knew." I mean, I think the interview with you and him, he's like, "Yeah, he knew that was just him trying to flex, and he knew that was just bull and stuff like that." I'm like, I don't know where you get that from, to be honest with you. I don't know where you get that I was just trying to flex or trying to. I don't know. As a grown man, if you say something that I don't agree with or that you're coming at somebody that I care about, I'm going to say something and I'm gonna carry it that way. And I feel like that I don't know, he didn't understand how men operate in that type of situation. Because as soon as I bring it up, he's like, "Oh, well, I'm not." I'm like, "Bro, yes, you are, and this is what you're doing. Everybody here hears you, and that's why Francisco backed me up. Everybody in that lounge can tell you the same thing and can understand why I crashed out on them at that time because they all heard the same thing. And I told him before I did that, I was like, "Yo, I'm about to snap because he's playing with me right now." And I told a few people that, and I said, "If you keep doing it, you know what I mean, I'm a check him on it." And then he kept doing it, and then I did what I did. So, and the cameras cut out a lot of stuff because I guess they couldn't show everything I said. But I don't know. I don't understand the mindset. Maybe he's trying to like save his own image. Maybe I don't know. I can't call it what he's doing and why he's doing it the way he's doing it. But everybody there seen what happened. Everybody there understood why I acted the way I acted, and you're just not. You're gonna. I want you to operate as a man. I don't want you to throw rocks and hide your hand because I'm gonna call you out on it. So peace to him, but I just didn't like that situation, and I was justified in every way in every manner to check him as a man. And if he had a problem, he could have talked to me as a man, but instead he played victim, and I don't respect that. So that's how it had to be handled.
Was there anything else before that added to the fuel to the fire? Because although I get what you're saying in terms of the check-in, the energy was a lot though. You know what I'm saying? So what was it? Was he
Yeah.
irritating you before this? Does his face irritate you? Like, let's be honest, because we know sometimes people's face irritate us. I'm not saying faces ugly or anything. I'm
Uh,
just saying in general. Sometimes someone's face just irritate you. Their energy, their vibe. Before you even get to that point, it's just like another thing that's just annoying. So is it one of those ones, or is it a case of the fact that you felt like maybe yes he's playing your face, but maybe because again your protector energy in terms of protecting
mm,
people came through
yeah.
that moment. What is the extra, because it did seem like a little bit, not saying you went over the top, I'm saying in the sense of the energy was like, I know that energy. I remember, yeah, I've done that a few times on a few different people, and it's like I'm very protective of people, but I'm wondering
Mm.
where that for you was coming from for you.
Um, I don't think it was anything extra. I think it was just like the moment, to be honest with you. Like we never was the closest of friends and stuff like that. The Frickers, he was a part of our mixer with me, Cisco, Lil, and we always kind of like me and Cisco and Lil was like look at him like, yeah, boy, kind like we don't really rock with him like that. But it was no shade to me, it was just like who we got cool with. And I didn't know him enough to have a opinion on him, but I judge you by your actions. And in that moment, his actions showed me that he had to be talked to in a certain type of way. So it wasn't like I was like, I mean, I don't know, maybe I just got an attitude problem. I feel like and again, I'm a big protector. Like that's just I protect people in my life. Like that's just what I do. And So is that, and also when I feel like that somebody's blatantly playing in my face, I don't take well to that. So um so I just, it's like us, man, we handle things a certain type of way. Like I wasn't trying to fight him. I wasn't trying to like jump across the table at him, but I was talking to him like grown men should talk to each other and when there's a problem. And when you can't give me that energy back of a grown man conversation, like, oh, I was doing that. You know what? I did say that. I did do that. You know what? All right, I get it. I understand. It was oh, I'm not doing that. I didn't convince nobody. Like, I'm not saying you're convincing somebody. I don't care if these dudes. I know y'all don't like her. Like, I know the whole group is not really into her. I fully understand that. But again, you're the only one out of the whole group who's actively trying to be like, yo, get her out. And then that's what I had the problem with it. So I mean, that's all it was, honestly. Like again, I wasn't trying to fight bull or nothing like that, but it was just felt like he was playing in my face and it had to be said. So him as a person, I'm sure he's a cool guy, but in that moment, certain things had to be said.
Understand that.
Yeah.
So obviously your situation, your relationship, obviously, let's talk about a little bit of your relationship with Rose, obviously, because that's starting
Mm,
developing, right? To a
yeah,
certain
yeah.
point.
Mm,
Tell us more about this relation, the relation that you guys were building, the connection that you guys are building. Sorry, rather should say rather than relationship. Tell us more
mhm.
about the connection that you guys built, because day one, like I said, you guys had good conversation. What
Yeah.
were you guys building in terms of connection after that?
It was just me and Rose always had like real conversations. Like even when we talked on the phone and whatnot. And I think that's why our date that we had on camera was so like, hard eyes and whatnot, because we had like real conversations. And it wasn't just like surface. It was like, yo, can we see ourselves with each other? And I didn't have that type of conversation with anybody else at that time. And it just felt like we was doing what we needed to do in order to make it work. Like we was having the right conversations. We was seeing if we fit in each other's lives. Like we was there, we was doing what we was supposed to be doing on that show. Like really seeing if this is my person. And I admired her for it because again, she was a grown woman that knows what she wanted and was putting in the work um in order to get it. So it was like super easy conversations and just real conversations, and we just grew closer with every phone call, every text. So that date kind of just like showed what was already brewing before that. And yeah, like I said, she was definitely like who I had my eye on, pretty much.
So, we got to see, she obviously I think it was with Fritz that she had a conversation about what she wants to do
Mhm.
in terms of kids and stuff like that as well. I think you guys also had a conversation around that as well, right? But slightly different. You guys seem to kind of come to I wouldn't say a faux pas, but I think you guys had
Mm.
some agreements, but then there was some kind of
Yeah, the only thing we talked about
deleted
is
agreement.
she asked me if I ever dated somebody with kids. And like and
Yes.
and I haven't. And that was my like I have never had somebody that had kids. And she's like, "Well, are you opposed to it?" And I'm like, "I'm not opposed to it. I just don't have experience in it." So I love kids. Like, like I said, I help raise my niece. I don't have kids of my own. So I didn't have an issue with it. So yeah, the issue of kids or anything like that never was like a major concern with me and her.
Mhm. So obviously the connection between Rose and Sahara is slightly different.
Right.
So
I
you, you know, um,
think everybody trying
hmm.
to figure that out. Like, how can you
I,
be
I
into
mean,
these two
no,
and
I
these
don't
two
think, I don't
women
think, I
that's
don't
not
think,
the
I don't think
same?
it's crazy. No, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
think it's because there's two sides of you. So because
Mhm.
I think like with Sahara, we
Exactly.
see that, like you said, you see there's the side of that pulls you out, but there's something about Rose. So maybe you can help us understand that. What is? I know you
Mhm.
said she's on a grown woman business. What is it about Rose that brings you to the table? To the table, is it the intellectual conversation? Is it that
Mhm.
depth that you're getting? What is it
Yeah.
about Rose that's bringing you to the table? Because it's different to Sarah. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's another side of you.
It's different. Yeah. I think and it's crazy because it's kind of like, yeah, we all have aspects to our personality, and it was like split in the middle. It was like, and again, my main man's on the show, Lil Francisco Hussein, like I used to talk to him about this all the time and be like, yo, Sahara reminds me of my past and what I've been doing, but I don't want to judge her off of that. But
Mm.
Rose looks like my future and what I want out of a woman at this stage in my life right now. So it's kind of it was like it was just a constant battle of like which one was best for me because I don't and like Francisco talked me off a ledge a few times because I didn't want to judge somebody based off of my past. Like, all right, I had somebody like you, and you just like, no, like I wanted to give her the opportunity to prove that, she's not like other people in my past. Um, so again, like you said it perfectly. They spoke to different aspects of my personality. So from the outside looking in, they like, yo, how are you into these two women that's total opposite, it seems like. And I'm like, it's just it works like that. It's no rule to say that you got to be into one type of woman. So, um, so I think with Rose, it was just like the man that I'm becoming and I'm working hard at myself and trying to be. She seems to fit that more, so, more at that time. She seems to fit that, and again, like I was trying to figure out what was best for me and what I want in my life, and she was like, I know what I want. I've been through A, B, and C, and I want a man, and I want to be a good woman to a good man. And I'm like, yeah, that's that's what I'm looking for too, because I'm working at myself to be a good man and working through all my stuff and my traumas and all of that stuff to be that good man. And I can be that good man for you. So,
Mm.
so yeah, so that's kind of what attracted me to her.
Which one of the ladies then requires more of your emotional capacity? Which one of these ladies requires more of your emotional strength and your emotional presence? Which one is pulling you more into your emotional bag where you have to dig a little bit deeper and show up?
Yeah. But I think honestly Sahara, to be honest with you,
Mm.
because it takes a strong man to deal with a personality like her. Meaning like I don't know how to explain this. Like again, she just wants to be seen, right? She's a big softy in the inside. Like everybody sees the hard exterior and all that. She's a big softy on the inside. Like so it, it takes a lot as a man to not react off of like something that she might just say off the cuff. Like but and not be triggered by it or not be like, fire back at her. It's like, oh, I know you said that, but I see you. I know who you are. I know what's on the inside. I know that what you're saying comes from a place of hurt or whatever like that. And I'm here to see past that and to help you do that and to so you can drop that exterior, that hard shell and just be your soft self at all times. And me and her would have a lot of talks like that because I it's not me wanting to change her, it's me being the type of person that I need to be for her to be her best self. And she would talk to me all the time. She would like, "Yeah, Cam, I know you right." Like we would always have like candid conversations. Like she'll be rah rah, but then after she calms down, she's like, "You know what, Cam, you right. Everything you said was right, and I get it." So it just takes patience, and I didn't have patience for a majority of my life, so it challenged me in that. So I think that she really made me be a grown man saying like, not fire back at her, not like deal with my emotions, but be be a man and be like, all right, like I know what you're dealing with. Like you can't match a female's energy like that. Like
Of course.
if she's going at you, I can't be out in the street arguing right back and forth with a female. Like you got to be, you have to be that calm in the storm. So, and I think she kind of like helped me to grow in that aspect and learn how to control my emotions and to show her like, look, it's okay to be soft. Like I'm going to provide that space for you to be soft. So she
Mm.
definitely challenged me.
I love that. It's interesting. I think hearing it from a perspective because I think when you talk about relationships. Um, the feedback. That's earlier on we talked about how someone makes you feel and stuff. The
Mm,
feedback is interesting because I'm assuming you get two different feedbacks from Rose and for Sahara.
mm,
And this is my theory. I want to get you involved in. We have that discussion.
mm,
Is there a sense of an immediate validation with Sahara versus Rose? What I mean by that is you're putting out the pun is not intended. You're putting out fires,
uh,
right? And
mm,
you immediately see the smoke coming or the residue left over as you've watered over the fire. So you get an immediate kind of like, I've done something here, something's changed, something has been shifted. Whereas with
mm.
Rose, I'm not saying she doesn't have fire because we know she has fire. She done lit up Fritz like a Christmas tree. But it hits different because it's it comes in a different format. So is it
Mm,
that there is the feedback is different between Rose and
yeah,
Sahara in terms of the validational aspects, so in terms of the time frame you get the validation? Because we all need validation, by the
yeah.
way. What
Right,
relationship you're in, if you ain't getting validated, that ain't the relationship you want to be in.
right,
Is
right,
there
right.
some difference in the time frame and the feedback you're getting in terms of validation? Because one requires your immediate input a lot of
Mm,
times, at least in the beginning, versus the other one that doesn't seem to need it as much in that
yeah.
space.
I think that yeah, I think with Sahara, like I seen a person that was trying to improve herself, but had a hard time in doing that. And when I used to like calm her down and really talk to her and really see her, I can see the immediate like improvement in a sense because I know and because she's on her own journey, she's on her own healing journey, and when I helped her through that, it was like, okay, I see that you're trying. Like I see what you're trying to be or who you're trying to be and what you're trying to work on. And a person that wouldn't be receptive to me in that, you know, I wouldn't talk to because like, all right, you're not, I'm trying to help you do it and you're not trying to help yourself. But you could tell like she was like, okay, I understand. I get it. I know. You know what, I'm working on that and I'm going to work. Like this is like words that she used to tell me. Like I know I'm working on that and I need to work on it. So I know like a few people say like, oh, he's trying to change her and trying to and he views her as a project. And I was like, it's not that. Like she's working on her own self as a project. I'm just I just see her working on herself and helping her through it. And the feedback that she gives me was like, Cam, I appreciate you because I needed to hear that. So I don't view it as like my personal challenge to try to save the world from Sahara. Like I'm not like that's not a thing for me. It's just a person again, I went through my own process. So I'm like, it's a person that I've seen trying to like be better and a person that I care about. And I'm like, you know what? I need to be who I need to be in order to help her on her journey. So so I yeah, her being receptive and her actually trying, it meant a lot to me because it's like, oh, this person hears me. This person respects what I say and is actively trying to like be better for me and for herself. So I think that's what kind of like attracted me to her.
No, I hear that. I definitely hear that. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, going down that road then further because you in Sahara did have a I wouldn't say anything like altercation or anything, but you guys she blew
Yeah.
up. Yeah, she blew up. She blew up. First of all, have you prayed? Because you know she's out here using these. I know your mom done told you to pray. Have you been praying? You out here walking into
Hey,
dangerous territories in the valley of shadow of death, and you out here laughing. And you prayed, sir?
hey, I'm well protected too. Me and her on the same type time. I'm well protected too.
Oh, so
So
you on them
I get
dolls
it. I
too?
get it. I'm get it.
Let me pray my
But
prayers, boy. You should have told me before. I would have changed my prayer warfare before I come and interview
yeah.
you.
No, we all about the energies and about all of that stuff. So yeah, we kind of like vibe on that too. So I mean, I'm not into the the potions. I'm still trying to figure out if she put something in my drink, the first
You have
mixer,
to make
because
sure.
yeah, I'm trying to make sure she put no spells on me. But No, I get it. I'm well protected too, so it's fine.
All right, cool. We hear that. So obviously, like I said, you guys had a little bit of a blow up.
Yeah.
It was at the result, obviously, during I think one of her eviction. Well, she was about to be. She was at the bottom two again. Walk us through that. What happened? Because you know that situation was
Mhm.
unfortunate. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
happened
yeah.
from your perspective?
It was just crazy because like me and her never had like one-on-one dates with the show. All our dates, like up until this point, was just me telling her that she about to get sent home. So it was like that's the only time like we liked each other, but that's the only time we had together on camera was I had to tell her some bad news or tell her what the guy said about her. And it was she was going through a lot at that time because she was just like, yo, I'm keep on being at the bottom. Like just kick me off if y'all keep on putting me at the bottom. Um so it was a lot on her. I know that for a fact. Uh, like I said, we had a back and forth. Me and her, we go back and forth too. But like, I'm trying to explain to her, like, look, like this was happening. I'm trying to like help you, give you feedback, and then she was like, she's not receptive sometimes to feedback from the guys, and because she's just tired of hearing it. She's been on the bottom. Look, we on episode 6, and she's been on the bottom what 3 times, 4 times, whatever. So so it was just draining on her. So and that's why she was kind of just like she gave me that energy, but then it's like, bro, like I'm the only one fighting for you. Don't give me that energy. Give everybody else that energy. Like, but I'm the one that's in your corner and you giving me energy. So, but it was just like a tough situation at that point in time. And and so I kind of understand what she was going through, and there was a lot on her, but at the same time we was just like butting heads because she couldn't understand like, yo, Cam, why you keep telling me this? Like, why they always got you telling me some bad news and da 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 da. So it was kind of frustrating, but it's just how it turned out. I can't hear you at that. I think your mic off.
I
All
was
right.
saying, why was she at the bottom with the men?
Um, Same because she's the homie to a lot of them, Like again, once we put somebody in a certain box, it's hard to climb out of that. So if you give somebody friend vibes or like that, or again, not everybody likes that type of personality, and I understand that. Like it's brash, it's aggressive sometimes, but and I completely understand. Like she gets on my nerves too. Like so I get it. But it's so I understood why she was at the bottom, but that didn't change my opinion. So
Why did it not change your opinion, Cam? That's the question we need
because
to
I
ask.
got
Why is it that all the men had this pretty much the same opinion and were
yeah,
nice about it in some respect to what we saw on the screen? But I'm sure there were men behind the scenes. Why did you see different, Cam?
because I got my own brain. Amen. Like
Mm.
I got my own perspective. I don't let the crowd sway my opinion. If I like somebody, then I like somebody. I seen because I would say me and her literally like probably talk every day in the process. And it'll be like conversations that last like 2, 3, 4 hours on the phone. So like I seen a side of her that nobody else really seen. So I don't expect y'all to view her the same way that I view her. Like that's understandable. So I wasn't mad at nobody for viewing her as the homie or putting her at the bottom. Like I didn't care. I was on my own journey, and I kind of had blinders on. Like I didn't care who was paired up with who or who was into who. Like I even halfway through the process, I didn't know who liked who. I just know who I like. So yeah, again, I'm my own person. I don't get swayed easily by opinion. Is if I like something and if I want to go after something, I'm gonna go after something. And not let too many outside voices change that.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Could it be said that in that scenario,
Mhm.
um, whilst I love a person who sticks for what he wants and what they want to get, and they make sure they go after it.
Mhm.
Um, the comment it was interesting because when she fired back at you, as you even
Yeah.
said on this interview, the comment you said was, I'm basically like the only one that's like, I'm not one of the, don't shoot the person who's the one person who's backing you. Do you
Yeah.
not find that? Do you not find that because you've had to stick a neck out for her, that
Hmm.
that also puts you in a place where it can feel like from both sides, by the way, for you,
Yeah.
number one, I've stuck my neck out for you, and I quote unquote, and I say it's quote unquote, not say that you actually said it. I don't
Mm.
think you weren't intending. I'm just saying it for the purpose of the conversation. That
Right.
maybe like you know what, I'm doing you a favor here. I'm backing you, and I'm not that I'm doing a favor like that, but I like you, and
Right. Right.
I'm
Right.
backing you in this. Don't be shooting me. You know what I'm saying to you.
Hmm.
But then it can also look from her perspective, which is almost like, I know you're the only one backing me, and it does feel like a lot of pressure because if I make a mistake, are you also going to throw me away? Like, and I can see that as an aspect. But
Right.
does it get to a point where, sir, if Sahara is
Hmm.
the fit in the pattern
Yeah. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
what you've
Yeah.
always chosen, does it
Right.
not get to a point where a brother goes to himself, I'm still doing what I used to do, and that
Mm.
didn't
Yeah.
work?
So
Hmm.
it could be viewed like that. It could be viewed as again me making the wrong choice. Me choosing the wrong type of girls and kind of like falling on my sword with that. But I'm stubborn. You know what I mean? Like I'm stubborn to the point where like if and I'm stubborn, but also the other side of it is that like I know where that outburst comes from. You feel me? Like somebody can see that and instantly judge somebody based off of like their outburst or one moment or whatever like that. But again, we used to talk every day. So when she did that outburst, yeah, I was annoyed. Like we was arguing, like we really was like, and that she seen it in the show a lot. Like me and her was arguing because it was like it was just about that topic. So yeah, again, she annoys the hell out of me too. Believe me, all them antics and stuff like that, she gets on my nerves. But at the same time, like I know where it comes from. I could see past it. I'm not excusing it at all. You know what I mean? But I'm saying like, oh, I know why you reacting this way. And I know when I come back to you in 20 minutes, we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna get down to the root issue and you're gonna say, oh, I shouldn't act like that. Sometimes you gotta allow a person just to show their emotions. Like you can't keep somebody bottled up. Sometimes a person needs to express themselves. Sometimes you gotta allow a person the space to lash out in a sense. But I wouldn't have stayed as long. I wouldn't have stayed interested in her as long as if she didn't like always come back and say, you know what, Cam, I get it. If I didn't have that side of her, oh yeah, I would have been going. Like I'm not, I don't, I don't got that much patience. But because I always knew that she understood, but she just had to like lash out in that moment, and that's the thing that she's working on. So I mean, and again, and it weighed on me. Like I said, it's not like I was just all hard eyes and everything she did was perfect. Like I was going through it too because I'm like, damn, like I'm fighting for you and you acting like this to me. So I was going through it too, but I was just trying, and that's the best thing I could do is try. And if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. But at least at the end of the day, I could say, hey, yo, Cam, you did everything. Like if it don't work, you did everything. You look past all the flaws and tried. So and I could live with that.
Mhm. I guess my final question on that is, aside obviously what you do for her,
Mhm.
what she do for you? Because I
Um,
know what you
yeah,
get from it when you input. Well, what about the
right.
reverse here? Mm.
Um, hmm. I think that she helps pull me out of my shell. It's always the reason why the quiet guy ends up with the loud girl. Like we had a restaurant. I don't want to send my food back, so I'm trying to be polite. And she like, nah, excuse me, he don't like his food. Like that's that balance. So it's I think she helps me because I deal with like the depression, and that's always an ongoing battle with me with mental health and all of that. and she kind of, and it's a breath of fresh air when you talk to a person that's just themselves, and is not caught up in their head about, oh, I wonder if I do this, how it's going to be received, or and if I act like this. It's just like she's just is not perfect by any means, but she's purely herself. She's purely her imperfect self. And I think that makes me just not take life as seriously
Yes.
that I take
Mm.
it. She makes me like more like free spirited and be like, all right, well, you right. You act like that. You don't care. I don't care. Let's have fun. So it's always a balance. It's always a partnership, and uh you provide something for them and they provide something for you, whether that's emotionally, physically, whatever. So I would say that's probably the main thing that I get from her.
Mm. I heard that. Okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's interesting. Okay. I don't think I've missed anything, have I? Is there anything else that you wanted to clear up that necessarily missed? I know because there was a lot that happened in that season, but was there anything that
Yeah.
else that kind of that you want to clear up? Go for it, man.
Um, oh, not really. I think we really touched on everything. It's just a battle of like, the angel and the devil on my shoulder, the Sahara and
Mm-hmm.
the Rose. Like it's like, and that's like a constant battle between me. So it's definitely I definitely wanted to clear that up, saying like, oh, Cam just don't know what he want because he's just choosing two girls that are completely not the same. Like, nah, like you said before, it just speaks to certain aspects of my personality, and I can see the good in a person even though other people might not be able to. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, I like that, man. And like I said, I think it's interesting. It's from a perspective of myself. I think it's very interesting. And whenever you have two choices, it really does represent a diff. What are we willing to do? Are we willing to go forward? Or are we willing to go backwards? What do we want to choose? We want to choose our future. We want to choose our past. I think whenever you see two choices, that usually does happen. So you're in an
Yeah,
interesting place in terms of
definitely.
choices and what you're going to do. Obviously, in the second half of this show. But it's been interesting to just kind of get your mind as well. I think it's been refreshing to talk to you. You're honest, you're open, and you are willing to answer questions to the fullest. And I think that says something in itself that you're quite frank about your thoughts and your feelings. It doesn't have to
Mhm.
always agree, but I love the fact that you're able to be expressive in that way. And I'm sure it's taking time to get to that place, but for
Yeah.
me, what listening to that, and I think it's a powerful thing to be. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Mm.
Nah, I definitely appreciate you. Like we all put work in ourselves and we wonder if it's pays off. And then like, when somebody say something like that, it's like it validates me and saying like, oh Cam, you are doing the right thing. You are going in the right direction when it comes to your healing and your process. So I appreciate you for seeing that.
No worries, bro, man. Listen, it's not easy, bro. Like, and I
Yeah, it
definitely
ain't.
resonate with what you said. And I think I experienced something last year that was similar, where you had two ladies I was looking at, and I was like, blood, one just captures you, and you know who catches you. You know what I'm saying? But you remember that you're dragging me back to where I don't want to be, but it's still,
Right, right, right. But
I
it's
get
still a
why I'm
thing.
drawn to it.
Like,
But it's still
yeah,
a
yeah,
thing, you know what I
exactly.
mean? And so then the other person you're looking at, oh, okay, am I sure do I want that one? Do you know what I mean? So whenever you see that,
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely understood where you're coming from, and I love what you've shared today as well. Anything that you're kind of doing right now that we can get behind, support, show love to as well.
Yeah, for sure. So after we stopped taping, me and Francisco started a podcast called Toxic Perspective. It's just us, having fun. It's me, Francisco, and Jazz is a girl that we know, and we talk about the show. We talk about relationships and all of that, music, everything. But the show kind of focuses on growth. Like again, that's kind of what I'm all about. So like, it focuses on like our toxic ways, but like, what are we doing to try to grow from that? So you might hear us say some crazy stuff, and hear us like really like say some things are kind of like off the wall, but we recognize our toxic ways, but how do we grow from it? And
Mm.
I wanted there's a lot of podcasts that pins women against men and black women against black men, and I didn't want that. I made it a effort to be like, this is not going to be that. I want to have real conversations to see how we can be accountable, how we can be self-accountable, and how we can grow and recognize that, yeah, we are toxic. We are a little thrown off in the head sometimes, but what matters is that how we grow from that and not just stay there. So yeah, y'all can check it out. Subscribe on YouTube, we on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of that. So yeah, big help would be to subscribe on YouTube and just support. We'll have other cast members on the show on there as well. So yeah, just it'll be a fun thing to check out for everybody.
I love that. What's the name again?
Toxic Perspective.
Toxic Perspective. Well, listen,
Yeah.
audience, make sure you go and check out Toxic Perspective, okay? Podcast. Go and support, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button, and all that good jazz as well. Well, listen,
Mm.
audience, we have reached this wonderful end. It's been a great conversation. I think there's been some great gems and taken away. I've
Mm.
loved the openness of Cam and the fact that he was able to be so eloquent in communicating his thoughts. I think that's always a powerful thing, something that I always appreciate on this platform when people can do that. I didn't sense any hiding or trying to, put up a screen, and I love that. And I think that authenticity is a beautiful thing, and we can't wait to see you obviously on part 2
Mm.
of this particular season of Own TV. I know it returns sometime in August, so we'll be looking out for that as well. We might have to bring you back on if once we see what happens. You know what I mean? So I'll get
Yeah, for
myself
sure.
ready for you in August.
Yeah, for sure. I'm open to it. I'll be back, especially after the reunion. It's gonna be some
Uh,
stuff. So
I
but
can
y'all
tell
gonna
already.
see it though. Y'all
Definitely, and
gonna see
we
it
can
though.
we go straight into that one. The second review, we don't have to do anything else. We go straight into the nonsense. So
For
we
sure,
definitely
for
go and get
sure.
ready to get in there. But as well. All right, audience, thank you so much. I appreciate you lot. Stay locked, stay loaded. Don't do anything you shouldn't do. Stay kosher, classy, and cute on them streets as well. I appreciate you lot. We'll see you again for another enthralling conversation. Ta-ra, ta-ra, and goodbye as well. Good night,
Peace.
folks. All right, peace, peace.